Creator God speaks to us all to wake up and see the truth, and one day He will get our attention. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have him in derision. Then shall He speak unto them in His wrath, and vex them in His sore displeasure. It displeased God to have to do His wrath. People will be swallowed up in His fierce anger. Please understand what is going to happen. Thou shalt make them as a fierce oven in the time of thy anger. The Lord will swallow them up in His wrath, and the fire shall devour them. We can be devoured in His wrath. Are you scared of this time? Evil has grown over time, and fast. The more time goes, the more people do more evil. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. Fret not thyself because of him who prepareth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked device to pass. Cease from anger, and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. We all know what real life is about, so we need to pray. O Lord, rebuke me not in thy wrath, neither chastise me in thy hot displeasure. For thy arrow struck fast in me, and thy hand presses me sore. Looking at life, it is in His hands that presses us to see the evil and how it is here, and grows, and it makes you do things you don't want to do. Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not thyself from my supplications. Attend unto me, and hear me. I mourn in my complaint, and make a noise, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppress of the wicked. For they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is sore, planned within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Creator God will take it in His hands, and He will help. Before your pots can feel the thorns, He shall take them away, and as the whirlwind, both living and in His wrath. His wrath is a chastisement of not seeing Him for what He really is, the Creator, the Father of us all, from the beginning till the end. He will consume His creation out of disobedience, obeying man's rules, not His. For the sins of their mouth and the works of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for cussing and lying which they speak. Consume them in wrath, consume them, and that they may not be, and let them know that God ruleth in Jacob until the ends of the earth. Selah. The sins are in their own mouth, lying, cursing, and their pride. They have the wrath of the Creator on them. When the judgment comes, the meek will be saved. Are you meek? And it will be heard in heaven. Thou didst cause judgment to be heard from the heaven. The earth feared and was still. When God arose to judgment, He saved all the meek of the earth. Selah. Surely the wrath of men shall praise Thee. The remember of the wrath shalt Thou restrain. Vow and pay unto the Lord your God. Let all that be around about Him bring presents unto Him that brought to be feared. We will fear Jesus when He comes back. Things are in plain sight for all to see, but will not look and think for yourself. He caused an east wind to blow in the heavens, and by his power he brought in the south winds. He rained flesh also from them as dust, and feathered fowls like as the sand of the sea. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, around about their habitation. So they did eat, and were well filled, for he gave them their own desire. They were not estranged from their lust, but while their meat was yet in their mouths, the wrath of God came upon them, and slew the fattest of them, and smote down the chosen men of Israel. For all this they sinned still, and believed not for his wondrous works. Therefore their days did he consume in vanity, and their years in trouble. When he slew them, then they sought him, and they returned and required early after God. And they remembered that God was their rock, and the high God their Redeemer. Nevertheless, they did flatter him with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongue. For their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant. But he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity, and destroyed them not. Yea, many a times turned he his anger away, and did not stir up all his wrath. Their own desire led them to the wrath. When they was being slew, then they called on him. Their hearts was alike to the Maker. Creator God held back all that he could do. He then sent evil angels among them. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger, and spared not their souls from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, the chief of the strength in the tabernacle of Ham, but made his own people to go forth like sheep, and guided them in the wilderness like a flock. Today it is happening again, evil angels. People will not take time to read his word or to find out about the word and who Jesus is or did. They are called heathen. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. The heathen are more in number, and we cannot get them to understand their ways are wrong. When the wrath comes, we that obey his will turn his wrath around. Thou hast taken away all thy wrath. Thou hast turned thyself from the fierce of thy anger. Turn us, O God, of our salvation, and cause thine anger towards us to cease. The sparrow found rest in her nest. We that love Creator God finds rest at his altar. Yes, righteousness looks down from heaven. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. People do not think of death as a Creator God's wrath, but let's look at the Psalms. O Lord, God of my salvation, I have cried day and night before thee. Let my prayer come before thee. Incline thine ear unto my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave. I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man that hath no strength, free among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, whom thou rememberest no more, and they are cut off from thy hand. Thou hast laid me in the lowest pit, and darkness in the deeps. Thy wrath lieth hard upon me, and thou hast afflicted me with thy waves. Selah. When we get closer to death, we go into his wrath and free among the dead. but alive the terrors will cut you off. I am afflicted and ready to die from my youth up. While I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted. Thy fierce wrath goeth over me. Thy terrors have cut me off. The terrors of this world will cut people off from knowing who, what, where, and all they can of the truth. Will his wrath burn like fire, or is time on earth as fire? How long, Lord, wilt thou hide thyself forever? Shall thy wrath burn like fire? Remember how short my time is. Wherefore hast thou made all men in vain? God's wrath on us brings us trouble. For we are consumed by thine anger, and by thy wrath are we troubled. Thou hast set our iniquity before thee, our secret sins in the light of thy countenance. For all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. The days of our years are 60 years and 10, and if by reason of strength they be 80 years, yet is our strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Who knoweth the power of thy anger, even according to thy fear, so is thy wrath. His wrath will trouble us. Do you feel you are in trouble? I hope so, because it will not be nice. We all have a set time to die, and we will fly away. We do not know his anger, so this is his wrath. As we live life, we will never be able to know all of Creator God knows, the heart, and he knows we all err in our ways, and we will not enter his rest unless we do. 40 years long was I grieved with this generation, and said, It is a people that do err in their heart, and they have not known my ways. Unto them I snare in my wrath, that they should not enter into my rest. Satan is on us every day of our life. We eat our bread with ashes, and our soul cries for the day we leave. For I have eaten ashes like bread, and mingled my drink with weeping, because of thy indignation and thy wrath. For thou hast lifted me up, and cast me down. My days are like shadow that declineth, and I am withered like grass. We are born with his wrath, and we die slow deaths. There is no difference. We were created the same as the grass and trees. Creator God was going to destroy his people at one time. This time, who will stand like Moses? Therefore he said that he would destroy them. Had not Moses, his chosen, stood before him in the branch, to turn away his wrath, lest he should destroy them. I do not see any soul that would. Did you know God abhorred his inheritance because of the sin? Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance. Are you on his side or the world's side? You have to decide that. The powers that be has decided they wanted to do their own thing now. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. The kings are in his wrath in that day. If you are on the Lord's side, he is on yours. The powers that be are like water, and it is coming over Israel's head today, and is going for their soul. If it not have been for the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say, If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, then man rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quickly, when their wrath was kindled against us. When the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, who hath not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowls. The snare is broken, and we are escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Creator God will receive you as his own and walk with you in his wrath. Do you trust him? Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou won't receive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thy hand against the wrath of my enemies, and thy right hand shall save me. The Lord will profit that which concerneth me. Thy mercy, O Lord, endureth forever. Forsake not the works of thy own hands.